30 minutes. First, though, with a real laughter explosion, they think it's all over again.
Hello and welcome to They Think It's All Over, the sports quiz with the revolting away strip. As usual, the teams are captained by David Gower and Gary Lineker, helped after a fashion by Lee Hurst and Rory McGrath. David's special guest is a Scottish actor who has just spent 2 whole years in the West End. That'll teach him to go out drinking with Gaza. The star of Nelson's column, John Gordon Sinclair. And with Gary, a 400 metres Olympic medalist whose parents always knew he was going to make a big name for himself. But just in case he didn't, they christened him Kriss Kezie Uchechukwu Duru Akabusi. In case there are any sound problems, don't interfere with your set, it'll be Kriss laughing. Round 1 is our excuses round, in which the teams have to guess what pathetic excuse a sportsman used to explain away a dreadful performance. David, Lee and John go first. Your excuse dates back to 1954 Football World Cup, when Scotland was slaughtered 7-0 by Uruguay.
Abadi receives. Martin doesn't have a chance as on he goes to put the ball into the wide-open net. 7-0, a score that Scotland won't forget for a long time.
So, what excuse did one of their players, a Mr. Tommy Docherty, give for that typically Scottish performance?
What do you mean? That's a great result in Scotland. In Scotland, that's actually technically a win. So I don't know what the plus
Unfortunately, it was in Switzerland, not in Scotland.
Away no scores in Switzerland count 7.
He's very factual, is our Dave, isn't he?
Didn't we do that gag last week?
Surely.
Yeah, I know, but it's a different audience, they won't know. What's what we call in a gag a running train? It's got the word running in, which you never did at cricket.
Didn't need to.
Yeah, you're always out, you just walked off, didn't you? I think he said that back then in 1954, because it was black and white, it was difficult to tell which teams were which.
Well, not if one team was in black and the other team was in white, which was happening there.
Well, that's technically correct there.
Thank you.
It was Kriss standing behind the Scottish goalkeeper, and every time they took a shot, he went... and it put him off, like, you know.
You're such a miserable sod, aren't you?
Kriss, how did they ever start a race for you, innit? You know, on your marks, get set. Oh, man.
They had rationing in those days. Could it be we were all hungry or something like that?
What do you mean in those days? Have you been to Scotland recently?
Still in force.
OK, I'm going to hand it over if you don't know at all. No?
No idea.
Gary's team?
Chris? No, just give us a laugh.
I didn't ken, Jimmy, I didn't ken.
A virus. Beg your pardon? A virus. No, well, let's let Mr. Docherty himself give us his excuse.
And the worst thing about it, really, was the national anthem. Because it took about a quarter of an hour. And then when they finished, we were shattered, actually. We were absolutely exhausted.
I'm ashamed.
The Scottish team were knackered after having to stand during a national anthem. OK, Gary, Rory and Kriss, your clip comes from 1989, and it's a cricketing one involving a certain Mr. David Gower. After a disastrous day during the second test against Australia, little Lord Fauntleroy was getting a bit of a racing from the assembled journalists.
Can you tell us why you didn't let Fozzie bowl from the nursery end today?
Fozzie's, well, yeah, Fozzie isn't the only bowler on the park, but Fozzie, right, did bowl well yesterday, yeah, fine.
But he so obviously bowled better from the nursery end.
Right, OK, thanks, boys. I'm off.
So, what was David's excuse for leaving the hostile press conference rather earlier than expected?
I think, did his hair have to be back at the shop by 5 o'clock? Go and do it for us, David. Go and do it for us.
No, later. Just a few more lines first, then I'll go.
It's typical Gower performance, wasn't it? He dealt with a couple of easy ones, looked good, then suddenly he's out.
Easy. No, yeah. Dave, ain't worth it, mate. Easy.
Was the tiger moth parked on double yellow lines?
You weren't rushing off through Will Carling's alibi, were you? Yes, he's with me, Julia. He can't talk now. He's in bed reading the Bible.
Wasn't he going to go to the theatre or something like that?
He claimed he had opera or theatre tickets.
He really went for a drink for a couple of hours because I was there.
He said he's meeting friends at the opera.
Yes, I'm going to have to give you the points, David. Would you like to confirm that that is indeed what happened?
I never go to anything goes.
And I must say, David, you were very defensive during that press conference. Maybe if you tried that out on the pitch.
No, David, go on.
Anyway, Gary gets the points for that. So at the end of that round, David's team have 0 and Gary's team have 3. So on to round 2 now, which is called Sing When You're Winning. It deals with the twin arts of poetry and music, as murdered by well-known sports people. David's team first. You've got a poem written and performed by that well-known Welsh bard, John Toshak, in praise of his then Liverpool teammate, Kevin Keegan. What we want to know is, what is the next line?
He'd arrived on the scene like a breath of fresh air, displaying those qualities ever so rare. Courage, agility, coupled with speed. Keegan, a boy who was born to succeed. But a shock was to come in the Charity Shield. As tempers flared, he was sent off the field. In his face there was anger and obvious hurt.
So, in his face there was anger and obvious hurt. What's the next line?
He doesn't actually say another line, he goes off to the theatre with Dave. In his face there was anger and obvious hurt when Billy Bremner pissed on his shirt. You're looking at me as if that isn't the correct answer.
In his face there was anger and obvious hurt at these horrible lines from a terrible poet.
That would have worked if he'd have said it.
In his face there was anger and obvious hurt because Billy Bremner had filled his pants full of dirt. You see, I said in Scottish, that rhymes.
Yes, but it sounded like it'd been written by a 2-year-old. Because he filled his pants with a lot of dirt. He might as well have just gone, in his face there was anger and obvious hurt.
I was going to do that, but I didn't think it rhymed.
It's got to be shirt.
Something to do with his shirt, yeah.
It's got to be shirt.
This is anger and obvious hurt. He walked
Sent
off
from
the
the field and ripped off
his shirt or something like that.
I am going to give you the points for that, I think. Let's actually have a look what the next line was.
In his face there was anger and obvious hurt, and in sheer frustration he threw down his shirt.
Apparently John was going to do another poem about Roger Hunt, but he couldn't think of any rhymes. So Gary's team now, we enter World Cup song Hell for your clip. It's from 1982 and features those perennial underachievers, the Scotland squad, and their lead singer, John Gordon Sinclair. Again, what we want to know is, what is the next line? And watch out at the beginning for some marvellous miming.
Way in the distance, I can just make out this ball coming in from the left, and I'm starting to run like hell, and this voice is getting louder and louder and louder, crying.
And this voice is getting louder and louder and louder, crying what?
Now, I was hoping you'd hand across the Kevin Keegan thing, because I had a very good rhyme for that.
What was that?
With a haircut like that, he should be wearing a skirt. He's doing ads at the moment, isn't he, Kevin Keegan, for Sugar Puffs with the Honey Monster. It's funny, it always takes Peter Beardsley wherever he goes.
Isn't Lee's doing ads? What about Lee's new ad?
Let's talk about ads.
What's that?
Apparently you're doing an ad, Lee.
Am I?
For toilet paper.
Yeah, really?
Well,
happy with it.
We were just wondering whether, how they film it, do they sort of make you put your head up against a mirror to get someone to wipe down the middle?
Hey, don't you think your street cred's just going down the toilet?
All right, crispy boy.
There you go, let's clean up your gags.
It's the first time you've ever headed anything.
I can hold my head up high.
When you're on Noel's house party?
Yeah.
And you can hold your head up high?
All right, Sudafed man on the radio.
Oh, excuse me, I apologise for trying to cure ill people.
Well, I apologise for cleaning up after them.
OK, can we stop the Charlie Carioli show now and get on with the quiz, please?
Was Rod Stewart busy? Wasn't it something about...
On your head, Jimmy!
Yeah, big yen, knock it in or something, or...
Oh, stick it in the
something
net,
like that,
big
wasn't it? I
Jimmy
mean, it's
yin.
close enough, because theirs was close enough.
All right, that's close enough, so I'll give you the points. Let's actually hear what the next line was.
And this voice is getting louder and louder and louder, crying, "Hey, big yen, gun yourself! I have a dream! Have a dream! Scotland!
So at the end of that Scottish bashing round, the scores are David's team 3 and Gary's team 6. It's half-time now when the teams have to do their best for no reward whatsoever, as we ask them to revoice some sporting footage. Gary's team, your clip comes from the nerve-jangling start so typical of the round-the-world yacht race.
And you join us here at this exciting stage in the Around the World Yacht Race, a nail-biting climax with only 328 days to go. And remember, you won't miss a single minute live here on Eurosport 2. Just send us £9.95 and we'll show you something else. Riveting. That's one of the things I'd rather be doing than watching this. That's incredible. For a moment there, I thought we were going to lose the picture. Oh, and I'm sorry to say we've got it back again. So the white boat is marginally ahead of the white boat. Or is it the other way around? Over to you, Gary.
Back to you, Rory.
Oh, cheers. Over to you, Chris.
Back to you, Rory.
Oh, cheers.
Of course, the real bummer about the Round the World Yacht Race is its winner stays on. Right, David's team now. We take you to the 1988 Olympics for your clip and the gripping spectacle that can only be Greco-Roman wrestling.
And welcome to the Civic Hall, Skipton, for the semi-finals of this year's All England Synchronised Swimming Championships. Sponsored by Yorkshire Water. Your commentators are Lee Hurst and John Gordon Sinclair.
Thank you, David. Here we are without any water, as you said. The referee tried to get the crowd to do a sponsored gob beforehand, but there'd have been too much phlegm. You don't need to hold your breath, of course, without this. You don't need a nose peg, but if I was him, I'd want a nose peg. England, bloody stupid, they're wearing your shoes because they're fighting about catching a verruca. Over to you, John.
Thank you very much, Lee. Well, it looks like they're actually miming having difficulty breathing, which is excellent stuff. It looks like they're miming coming up for fresh air. This is superb. And what are they up to? They're falling over. This is just absolutely... Join us after the break when the St John's ambulance will be on hand for the high diving.
Yeah, Greco-Roman wrestling, where the fight's apparently settled by 3 submissions or a proposal of marriage. The main rule, apparently, of Greco-Roman wrestling is that you're not allowed to use your legs. Arthur Askey went on to beat Douglas Bader in the final. Sorry, Mum. Right, back to the game proper now for our next round and the electronic pencil, where our teams can practice their graffiti without the threat of a prison sentence. This week's action comes from the recent Veterans Tennis Tournament in Florida and features the old grunter himself, Jimmy Connors, playing against Guillermo Vilas. When we stop the action, we'd like you to draw where the ball went. Right, Gary's team, you go first, so if you'd like to predict.
I think, if I recall, the ball goes down here into Connor's mouth and through his alimentary canal. It turns up 4 hours later over here in the lavatory, at which point Lee Hurst throws on a toilet roll with his campaign, something like that.
Did it sort of float over and end up sort of like there?
No.
Big tennis ball?
Definitely. It was definitely there.
Or was it maybe there?
No.
No, it was definitely there. And,
I've got an idea.
That pen won't work.
I actually reckon the ball comes down here, the guy goes and hits it because you can't miss it, but he does miss it. The ball hits him on the head, he falls over, and the ball sort of tops down here, something like that, and I can tell you the rest of the story next week.
No, they're supposed to try a Shaggy Dog story on this programme. OK, well, let's lose
No, hang on.
God,
I think he misses the smash, actually, because I remember this game. I think he misses the smash, and it goes into the net at his feet here.
OK, well, let's lose those scribbles, and then David's team can have a go.
Well, what happens, right, is the ball, which, as you remember, went up that way,
yeah,
right, goes up there, and it just stays there.
A factual answer, maybe.
I have no idea. Let's help John out here first off, right? There you go. That makes you feel at home.
Yes, all right. We're not having anybody write foolish chap on the screen.
Come on, Dave, you're our captain.
Oh, yeah.
Lead us to victory, Dave.
That'll be a new experience.
He's back.
Oh, no. It's a unicyclist again.
With a helmet on.
Don't forget the balancing stick.
Kriss, can I ask you another question while Dave... You know your laugh. You know you're quite famous for this laugh, right? How did you ever pass the random drug test?
Actually, I've toned it down a bit since those days.
Have you?
Yeah.
Since you've taken drugs.
Can I just give you a bit of advice on your team, right?
Yeah.
You're losing, right? And so far your answers are a unicyclist, no gravity, 7-0 and
And actually the smash, I'll go back to it. The smash comes from there.
Yeah.
And goes... So I'm sure he hits it, he's quite a good player. Goes back that way. That's the serious one, goes out that way.
OK, well, let's get rid of those and see what actually happens.
Well, exactly.
Oh, no! What? Nice!
I'll tell you what, and it's gone that way. Brilliant.
Pretty good, and he catches it. So let's put the scribbles back on, see who was closest.
Nobody.
Given those tries, the winners are Ian Hislop's team. So that means the scores remain at the end of that round. David's team 3 and Gary's team 6.
Oh, wow.
That was actually a radical departure for us not to make any jokes about how crap British tennis players are in that round. Be a little bit, disloyal doing that, especially now I'm ranked number 2. Okay. It's time now for our hands-on round, Field of Sportsman, in which team members are blindfolded and forced to identify sports people by feeling them. Gary and Rory, if you'd like to assume the position first, please. Okay, if you'd like to put your blindfolds on. And can we have our first mystery guest, please? Okay, your 90 seconds start now.
Funny smell. It's that bloke I met in Madame Jojo's last Tuesday. Jesus Christ. Oh, no. He can't be, can he? He's dead. What's this here? Mobile phone or a Mars bar with an aerial? Oh, hang on. A bit of cash in the pocket. George Graham.
Now, this bloke makes George Graham look wholesome.
Oh, childbearing hips. Is it Michael Jackson?
Shall I give you a very big clue?
Yeah, go on.
Money on.
He's a bit of a monster.
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 Honey monster.
Short hair. Or is it AstroTurf?
Mobile phone. Oh, it's Eric. Eric Paul.
Oh, yeah.
Monster.
Oh.
Brilliant. Well done.
Thursday, though, not Tuesday.
Thursday, that's right.
Can I say, can we have him on every week?
OK, David and Lee, if you'd like to get up to your marks, please. OK. And can we have our second mystery guest, please?
Enjoy.
We need the can we have the bog rolls back, please?
OK, I hope you enjoy this. Your 90 seconds start now.
Hang on. I think we're going to go.
Is it somebody who really shouldn't streak? Is that... oh my God. I was just going to say, I want to wind him. What's your fingers? This is a bloke.
How big are we talking here?
Well, the size of him, I could have done this from home.
Careful.
So it's something.
Easy boy, easy.
He's got this is well, he's big. He's big, right?
Are you talking?
I think he might be taking a dump as well. I didn't hear him drill a hole in the floor.
We're talking sumo. We're talking.
It's got to be, isn't it?
Yeah,
sumo?
it is a sumo wrestler, but I need his name.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah. Big fan. Tacky Puppy Nacky.
OK, he's got an amazing dancing bear.
Oh God. Oh.
I don't think we've met. Yeah, so.
Thank you, Simon Smith. Oh, enjoy that.
You kept going back there, didn't you?
It took you 3 attempts to discover you had a bare arse. What was going on?
What's that all about? Lee doesn't get out much.
There's so much of him.
OK, I think it was a little bit harsh asking you for the actual name of the sumo wrestler, so I'm going to give you the 3 points for saying sumo wrestler, which means the score at the end of this round is David's team 6 and Gary's team 9. Biggest arse we've had on the show since Eric Hall.
Before the name game starts, can we just offer you this £300? Over to Nick.
Yeah, David, place up a joke book. Right, it's time now for our final round, the name game. Each team has 90 seconds to guess a list of sporting names from clues given by a team member. Winning team first, so the winning team at the moment is Gary's team. There you go, pass that to Rory, please.
There you go, my friend.
Hugh, your 90 seconds start now.
Swedish tennis player. Boring.
Bev.
Bjorn Borg, yeah, correct. If she had a runner, American, I think if she had a nickname, it'd be something like Flojo.
Florence Griffith Joyner.
Yeah, not Flojo, yeah. A racehorse very dear to your wallet, Gary. Racehorse, you know. Crunchy racehorse with salt and vinegar over it.
Crisp.
Bloody hell. Oh, another one, dear. It's former Nottingham Forest defender. Another crispy one for you.
Walker.
Des Walker, yeah. Lady golfer, British.
Laura Davis.
Laura Davis, yeah. Don't know what this bloke... you might know this. He brought the people of Israel through the Red Sea.
Moses.
Moses.
Edwin Moses.
No, Moses is his first name.
Moses Kiptanui.
Oh, yeah, very good. And former Arsenal and Northern Irish defender, growing paddy fields. Enough?
Rice. Pat Rice.
Yeah, Pat Rice. Same Christian name as Bremner. Billy. The Thames and the Tyne are...
Rivers. Billy Rivers.
How many rivers?
Two rivers.
Two rivers, correct. Crack defender, Graham Souness bought him. Graham Souness bought him for Liverpool. He's either Danish or
Picnic.
Yeah,
Torben Picnic.
Yeah. If you're not guilty, you are...
Innocent.
And...
Igbeniki.
Former Dutch manager, sickly, drink like shampoo.
Very good. The whistle's gone.
Is it innocent Igbeniki a runner, isn't it? So it's now 6:19, which means you're 13 behind.
Yeah.
Your 90 seconds start now.
Just beat Frank Bruno. Not my milkman. Yeah, well done. Footballer, Everton, and he was in prison. Second name, you can make a television out of it. First name is...
Duncan Ferguson.
Correct, well done. Runner, she was allegedly taking drugs, 800-metre runner. First name is same as Princess...
Diana.
Yeah, but without the A on the end.
Diana.
Correct. Australian cricketer, surname... first name is like, as the footballer, his name was Marsh. And Stuart, Rodney, and what makes that noise? Pig. No, no, another word for pig.
Swine.
We got you out lots of times.
Correct. His second name is 3 syllables. Last syllable is my head.
In my head.
His first name is like Wonder. He plays the the
Stevie.
blind. Yeah.
Stevie.
Second name is you go through it the railway and it's under the railway. Stevie Archibald. Well done. And Muhammad Ali's trainer. His second name is a city in Scotland.
Glasgow,
no, the other one. No, smaller one. Just above. Correct.
Yes.
And the first
Angelo.
name. Correct. Scottish footballer, and his first name is James. But
Jim.
And his second name is, I'll have 10 quid on that horse. What do you do? Yeah, we've got one.
Wait.
The one I didn't understand the clue was you can make a television out of it. Ferguson. How can you make a television out of Ferguson?
Well, you've got to like nail it down a bit.
So despite that valiant effort, the final score is in fact David's team 12 and Gary's team 19. So Scotland lose by 7 again, John. Our thanks to David Gower, Lee Hurst and John Gordon Sinclair and Gary Lineker, Rory McGrath and Kriss Akabusi. We're all off to ruin our image and do an embarrassing advert for toilet paper. My name's Nick Hancock. They think it's all over. It is now.
With a fly-on-the-door look at the work of Britain's nightclub bouncers, a brand new series, Muscle, is in half an hour on BBC One. Up next, comedy with Beast. Well, it's not